In your reading notes today, I want you to turn to page 22 so that we can take some notes about theme. So, theme, taking a look at this. So theme is something when we're looking at literature, when we're looking at a fictional story, that we're pulling out these themes mainly. There can still be themes in nonfiction, but generally when we're talking about theme, we're talking about literature or story. So the secure skill is that we would use details in the text, including how the characters respond to challenges to determine the theme. And then we're explaining how theme is developed over the course of the text, including relationships to characters, setting, and plot. So that's using that story arc to see how the theme fits in with that. The theme of a story is the underlying message in the story. Many times this is confused with the main idea or the summary of the events. The main idea is what the text is about, generally referring to an informational text. A summary is a short restatement of what happened in a story or in an informational text. The theme is an inference that is related to the underlying message or a lesson in the story. Theme is not directly stated, but is implied. The reader must think about the character's experience, the choices to infer the theme of the story. There may be more than one theme in a story. So here's a mini story. Nick got the skateboard he asked for, but he felt very frustrated when he kept falling after a few feet. This looks easy, but it's not. I have no skateboarding skills at all, he complained. Even though he was frustrated, he kept trying each weekend. Every Saturday he got further down the street before he fell again. By the end of spring, Nick was able to skate all the way around the block. He was even able to go as fast as his brother running the dog, on downhill slopes at least. So when we're looking at this story, what's the lesson that's being taught? So I have 8 common themes, 8 common lessons that are taught in stories: acceptance, courage, loyalty, compassion, kindness, perseverance, honesty, and cooperation. Well, I'm going to go with perseverance because in this story, he keeps on trying. So even though something is hard, when you keep on trying, even though something is hard, that's what perseverance is. So perseverance is when you keep trying, even though it is hard. So the next theme that we're going to look at is acceptance. So a good definition of acceptance would be becoming friends with someone even if they are different from you. So any time when we have a story where there's different characters, maybe there's a group of friends and they accept somebody new, or a number of different people who have different personalities, but then they come together into a group, that could be showing acceptance. This could also be just, you could look at it in terms of ideas like with racial tension, that not excluding someone just because they look different, but accepting them, even if the difference really is just on outward appearance. So that could also fit into this category. So then the next thing we're going to look at is courage. So courage can be confused with perseverance. Perseverance is trying even though it's hard. Courage is doing something even though it's scary. So the difference between those two things, courage would be something like running out in front of a truck to save a dog that's about to be run over, or this might be, if we look at any stories that are about war, when it's really a frightful situation of something going on, but still continuing to do it. That's when we talk about courage. Perseverance is trying when it's hard. Courage is when there's an element of danger involved and being able to work through that. Next, let's take a look at loyalty. So loyalty is standing by your friends or family no matter what happens. So this could kind of tie in with acceptance, but loyalty is when you have a relationship with someone and something happens where it tests that relationship. Maybe it's because you want to go and join the basketball team and they don't want to, and so then you get a new group of friends. That could be a loyalty issue. Or maybe you have a younger brother or sister and they're acting a little weird and other kids are picking on them because they're acting strange. Standing up for your sibling, even if they're acting a little weird just because they're family, that is loyalty. Then we'll take a look at compassion. So compassion is giving a hand to someone that needs it when they hit hard times. So this would be maybe taking care of someone when they're ill or maybe when they're elderly. That would be compassion, feeling for someone who's in a situation that's different than your own and trying to help them. Which then brings us to kindness, which can be very similar to compassion. So kindness, when this is a theme, it's simply when people are being kind to someone else. It can go in with acceptance, it can go in with compassion or loyalty, but it's doing something that's kind even if there's other opportunities or reasons to do something else. So when we're looking at honesty, this is a story that's being told, and it's just about how being truthful is the good and right thing to do, and either works out for others or works out for the person who's being honest. But just that honesty itself, not lying, not trying to get away with things, that has a lot of value. So that's a theme that often comes up in stories. Which brings us to the final theme that we're looking at today. And these 8 aren't the only themes that stories teach, but they're common themes that come up frequently. Cooperation. So a story that teaches the theme of cooperation shows people or animals coming and working together to make something happen. That together, often, better things will happen than when people are apart. So these are the themes. We should have all of this written down in our reading notes, and we will be talking about some of these different themes and stories that we're reading.